Okay, here we are, May of 2022, our second video of the property. Rob and Sarah.
Hello.
Since it's been 2 years since we recorded our first video, thought we'd start recording another video, show the progress. Our last video, we had just cleared the trees off this path so we could walk to the top. And since then, we came through and did a lot more clearing. Grading, gravel.
Off to the right down there, we have a really pretty little creek area that you can't see unless you walk down the hill, but it's beautiful.
Yep. All of this right here is nice high stuff that's flat, overlooking the creek. So the first thing we did was when we tried to drive in here after our last video with the van, we'd have to run at it really hard and fast to get up this hill. Doesn't look like much of a hill, but it was a steep hill. And after doing it about 10 times in a month, it was all mud and we were slipping. So Sarah looked on the phone book and called a guy who came out, graded it, and put gravel on it for what, like 400 bucks?
I don't remember.
Did it in a couple hours. And we were like, we can do that. But we didn't have a tractor or anything yet. All we had a chainsaw to clear this road.
Yep.
But that's how we were able to get the truck to get past that hill and get up here and drive the rest of the way through. It was nothing but dirt and trees. And then we started building our barn up there, and we got a tractor, and I started grading this road, and we ordered a lot more rock. Spread it. We learned the hard way that we had to, when I first got the tractor, I thought, oh, this will be smart. I'll start smoothing the dirt road. Well, it had leaves and pine needles like this. Years of forest, and that was enough for a truck to grip on and not slide too much. But once we had the tractor and I started smoothing the road and tearing all this up and getting right down to the dirt, first time it rained, we couldn't get anywhere. I got the van stuck right up here in this turn on a pouring down rain day. Van was stuck. Spent the whole day trying to get it unstuck with the tractor. Now at the time, all of this nasty stuff, Sarah's most hated part of the land. So many vines in here. Tons and tons of this stuff. This is a low spot. There's a creek pretty close down there, but all of this was the worst of it. We cleared all this by hand. This is
Rob and Sarah.
Yeah, this is a more recent part, actually. We cut into this, cleared this, and started this second road. We'll come back around to it later, but this is a creek crossing.
This is a better idea of what we cut through over here.
See, we want to keep cedars like this, but we have to clear all this nasty stuff just to be able to make this road come through here. I even just had to fix this because this all washed out, and I had to dig this ditch a little bit better. So the water coming down the hill would divert into this, hit this creek. This is actually a creek that I've messed up pretty good with the tractor. I pulled a tree right there. And open this up. This is our culvert, so we can cross over this water creek. Soon to be our crossing over to where we'll build the home site. So we walk back up?
You want to walk back that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's where all the water washed the road out.
Yep.
We were able to cut everything down and pull the rock back out of it. So
Yeah.
that was our job a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. More of this nasty crap. All of this down here looks like this. Really bad stuff.
Smells good though.
I don't know about that. Smells like pollen.
Smells like honeysuckle.
Makes me sneeze. All right, so back to the main road. Basically, I think fall of 2020, after all the hurricanes and mudsliding, getting stuck, we graveled this road. We had just finished this barn when I was dealing with the mudslides, and just got the tractor, and this whole road was just an almost uncrossable mess from driving in and driving out without any of this good gravel to grip. And it was bumpy, and we had more trees to clear just so that the big rock trucks could get in.
But to either side of this road is very level, pretty land.
Yep, this is
very buildable.
All of this is probably like 3 or 4 acres. Could be an enormous homestead by the creek number 3, and all of this is just gradually goes up a hill to our off-grid site where Oscar's barking right now. Now, the same day that the guy in the very beginning cleared and graded the very front of our driveway where we started, we paid him to knock down all these little sapling pines that were right here so that we'd have a clearing to start the barn build. We started building the barn, what, summer 2020?
Yes. We did.
This is 20 wide by 40 feet long. Can't really, there, you can see it a little better like that. Sarah designed the front of it and the logo. There's the tractor. This tractor is what builds our roads, clears our land. We actually have lights. That medallion up there is lit up from behind, and the doors are all lit up. Looks really neat at night. You want to go in and open the doors? Just last weekend I had a tree over here that broke and fell and got snagged up there. It was leaning, was almost going to hit the barn, and I had to get the tractor and ropes and pulleys, pull it all out so it wouldn't hit the barn. So these all lock from the inside. And there's a side door over here with a deadbolt, so the way to get in is you get in with the key. I don't know if I should do side stuff like that. Anyway, and then unlock it from the inside. This is where we park our tractor and implements. We built these trusses in the basement and brought them out. And these posts are laminated, 3 2x4s glued and screwed together with a notch in the middle, like a pocket for the trusses. Shelving. Park all the front end loader and grapple stuff box blade. I parked some stuff in there from the tractor, hook in or unhook. Push hog. Firewood chopper. Firewood. All our fuel. Shall we keep going, Sarah?
Yep. Be right behind you.
I just graded this road today. After, I do it about once a year. Basically pulls all the gravel up, turns it around, makes it nice and fresh, it repacks, keeps it smooth.
Now we're headed up the road to the home site, which this particular road used to be almost like a water gully, but we had to build it up and put tons of dirt and rock here in order to have a level road, so that's what we did.
So up here was a lot of small trees. We get out of the pines now and we start to get into a lot of the hardwoods. So we had some really big hardwoods and a lot of little saplings. And we got someone to come out here, same guy that cleared the front. He came out here with his dad one day and cleared about half an acre up here. Big circle, big oval. So that we could basically have an opening for a sun, an oval drive.
Campsite, campfire.
So we built a well here, drilled a well.
Little pump house.
Built a pump house, yeah. You want to show them that?
Yeah.
Here's the solar panels. So we get about 3 or 4 hours of sun a day on those. Could be a lot more, but this opening is closing up over the years. All these trees are closing up in the opening now that they have the space. But those panels charge our batteries, and all our batteries are in the pump house.
The wire's buried underneath the road.
Yep. We just have
see there,
conduit shallow buried under the gravel.
Yep.
Because I know I might be moving it.
Yep.
These panels are on wheels. I'll show you. They're kind of like a dolly. Or I can lift up the corners and roll these. And I can also adjust these higher for winter and lower to point straight up for summer.
And here's our fun little pump house.
Sarah's hostas.
And my hostas. Very proud of my hostas. Really don't do anything to actually make them look like that. They just look like that all by themselves, but I'm still proud of them.
Yeah, they like the shade. Yeah, they don't need any attention at all. So this just has a 240 volt out, solar panels in, 240 volt out, goes all the way up to the camper. That's actually an exhaust pipe from the generator. The well, that's the well casing right there. Goes right up into the building. And we got water coming out and another water on the green hose going all the way up to the camper. This is a shower, we'll show you that in a minute. Want to take us inside, Sarah?
Yep.
So I actually have Wi-Fi so that my phone can connect into my automation system over Wi-Fi. So this is the pump house. Got a lot of tools. We've done a lot of building here. This is all our electricity. Solar panels go through that black charger on the left, or on the right I mean. Charges those batteries. That big old inverter right there, that's hooked up to the batteries. 6,000 watts, 240 volt split phase, which supplies this load center. I've got the camper and the pump on two different 240 volt circuits, and then auxiliary lights on the inside and outlets. And I got a small inverter just to run my laptop. I come in here and I develop code for this stuff right here. Little Raspberry Pi breadboard to access all the Raspberry Pi pins. So I got a bunch of sensors on there. This shows all my electric monitoring. Oh yeah, Renai propane water heater. This thing's super efficient. I've hooked one bottle up to it, a 30-pound bottle down there. That bottle's still probably 2/3 full after using the shower probably 30 times. Really nice on a hot summer day working out here to jump in this shower and just totally cool off, but we do have hot water in this shower. We still need to put a bunch of shiplap on the inside, but yeah.
Did you remove the second?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a wasp nest in there that I removed just today. This shower for me was one of the best things. It was a game changer for me to come out here and kill myself in this heat and come home dirty and sweaty. Much nicer to get a shower and get in the car to cruise home. Really nice to cool off out here after working. So that's that. See that light over there? We got motion detection, got 3 different light circuits, all on the automation. I can turn lights on with my phone. I can check the battery voltage with my phone. I can check all the temperature sensors. I got gas sensors for the generator. I can auto turn the generator on. Generator can auto on when the power goes too low and it starts charging the batteries from the generator. We've never needed it though because the solar does us really well. 100% off grid. Electric and water.
And that's our fun little 1998 four-wheeler that we got.
Yeah, we love this thing actually because
Beast.
it looks cool and it pulls all the way up some of the really big hills and on the other side. And that right there, that PVC pipe, that's for Sarah. That's the spider clearer.
Yeah.
So you don't run into spider webs.
The pole catches the web before the face catches the web.
That's right.
Yeah.
It used to be Rob walked out front.
Right. But then the Joro spiders came and took over last year.
Yep, so you can just drive through the trees and that clears the webs in front of you as you go through.
Yeah. Well, there's so many webs, there's no way you can catch them all.
Yeah.
So, hence,
I left the trailer up here, but Sarah's not happy about that. But I pulled the ramps out and have the trailer out because I mean to drive this four-wheeler up onto the trailer and change the brakes, the oil, and do the alignment. It pulls a little bit to one side. So tell them about this camper you found.
So, after going to look at quite a few campers and really used campers, not new, used campers.
Yep.
Most of them having a not great smell, being pretty beat up. Found this one and took Joey to see it with me. The previous owners were Christians and just had taken excellent care of it. So it had a floor plan like we wanted, and so it's done deal. Rob let me buy it without even seeing it. Can you believe it?
I wanted a different floor plan. But once I started using this,
But I won.
this is the best floor plan. Sarah was right again. Take us through it.
Okay. Mess and all. Oh, I haven't even made the bed.
Well, mess and all. We've been living in it this weekend. That's the point.
There's the puppies.
We were only gone for 10 minutes.
Here's our little humble abode.
Yep. So it's got a living room at the back end, recliners, entertainment center. TV comes up out of that console. That's like a little fireplace. Hand drums, which are actually coffee tables. This is where Sarah likes to be with the puppies, having her quiet time. Nice little radio entertainment system. Makes sound all throughout, front, back, and outside. Little kitchen area. It actually works really well. I can do a lot of cooking there. This refrigerator is enormous and consumes so much power that we don't turn it on. Instead, we just get one of these, which is DC. And this thing goes from 80 degrees down to 35 degrees in about 15 minutes. It's perfect. Very low energy. Just sips power. It's hard to see with this camera. It's not very wide, but big enough bathroom space. Shower here, but you don't get a lot of pressure from this shower, which is why I built that outdoor shower.
And it's tiny.
And Sarah's scrambling to make the bed.
At least make it a little better.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
There's
a little bit. There's a lot of storage space in this camper, which we love. Lots of. It's tight, but it works. It's a lot better than most campers we've seen.
I like it.
Yep.
Serves
All right.
the purpose.
Let's keep walking. Oh. The best part, though, really is the view out front. Look at all of these windows. To look at the whole campsite. This slide out is amazing. 6 full-size windows all the way around. Okay.
We'll be right back.
So we got our picnic table. This is where we do campfires when it's a little cooler out.
Those are the trees we left in the circle in order to hang hammocks.
Yeah,
Which
those
I
trees are
love.
awesome.
Yep.
This whole area was a very big open oval 2 years ago when we got it cleared. And now all these trees are just claiming all the open space for sunshine. But our panels are still grabbing a bit of it, but I may end up having to move them. We've got our tiki torches. We got a bunch of these kinds of chairs in here that we pull out when we have people over and do campfire cooking.
Just in case you're interested, I'll show you my deer skull that I found.
Yeah.
I found while I was walking the property one day.
Yeah, we
my little
need to
buddy.
find a place to hang that.
Yep, he's my buddy.
Where do you want to hang that?
I don't know.
Hey, did you show them your little medallion you painted? Just like the one on the barn. Sarah did that, so we hung it. Okay, we'll be back, Oscar. Okay. So we have 3 trees over here off the side of the campsite, and we have 3 hammocks. And this is an awesome little hammock area. We've had people camping over here with big tents up in here.
This is where we do our little fun target practice.
Yeah, we haven't done it this year.
Our plink plink.
This is very green now, but last fall I cleared all of this with the tractor. It used to be all briars. And I got the bush hog in here. Cleared all this out, made all of this walkable. So a lot of this property, it has potential, but needs a lot of work to make it pretty and walkable. But when you get the tractor out here, start clearing. It's amazing. So I cleared through here so we could get to the other side. All of what we've seen so far is just about the west 30% of the property. And this goes back down the hill to the second creek in the middle of the property. We want this road to be road number 3. Maybe a smaller road just for regular sized vehicles. We don't need big heavy equipment coming through here. I tried to cut a tree and pull it with snatch blocks last weekend. That's how far I got. And I broke my rope. What I learned was, it's not easy pulling a stump. I prefer to have an excavator.
Or a skid steer.
Yeah. Big money. So now we basically walk through all the undeveloped stuff where I have only cleared enough path to walk through and drive the four-wheeler through, drive the tractor through, and that kind of stuff. The best part of the land is over here where we eventually want to build a house.
We're heading downhill right now toward the creek.
Yep.
So, which is...
And this is actually the small creek, the one that we passed over earlier in the beginning, where we built the culvert. There's a culvert up here. The first one I tried, I made a real mess of it. I put it in a spot and then I didn't like it, so I dug it out. And when I was digging the culvert back out, you know, all the dirt that I had covered over it, I got the tractor stuck at the creek edge. And I tore up all of the creek edge. And since then, the creek edge, the water spills over that edge since I tore it up. And I've pretty much made a real mess down here. So one day soon, we will clean it all up. We'll clear this better and pave down here and build a better culvert like the first one you saw. This is very low. What I'd like to build out of all of this is a shooting range. This actually goes way up. And so I could set targets here and make the range part over here. We'll show you in a second. We'll get to the other side of it. So this culvert is just good enough for the four-wheeler. And I'll extend it by putting that piece of pipe on the end of it, make it wider. Lots more dirt down here and rock, and fix it right. So this area here, I also cleared last fall. Can't tell when you see all the green stuff on the ground again, but we want this whole area here to be a shooting range. And the idea is you set up your shooting table here and point down range to the right. So we build us a shooting table here and go down range here across the creek and have different targets going back up the hill. Use the hill as a big backstop. That's kind of the idea. And when this is all cleaned up, it's going to be really nice. So there's a trail going that way, which is going to be road number 2, going back to that first creek crossing with the culvert. But it also wraps around all the way up to the top of this hill where we want to build. This was much more cleared last fall. Over the winter, lots of stuff falls down.
It does, and it grows up, but you can still see our little tracks.
Yep. We'll be picking up sticks for the rest of our lives. So this is coming to the back of the property and the tallest hill. We would basically, at this point, we would be coming into the driveway at the back of the house. All of this I cleared last fall. Cleared it enough to drive through. This was all bushes and briars. And we put deer cams back in here. There's probably a dozen deer that live back here. We've seen up to 8 of them on camera in one shot. So this is where we want to put the house. It's a nice steep drop off down to our big creek down there.
We're currently walking the ridge of the middle portion of the property. So
from the back of the property back pointing to the front. We're at the highest point.
We have 3 sections to the property divided by 2 creeks that run the length of the property. So this is the middle section, and we're walking the ridge, so it kind of drops off on either side toward the creek on either side of this section.
Yep, that's a steep drop off, and this is a more shallow drop off. We'll clear all of this and have the front of the house face this direction, looking down at the road that we're going to build down there. It goes back to that creek crossing. And then the backyard of the house will overlook the steep hill down to the big creek. Well, what we plan for is this back end of the house here, garage end, and this end of the house will have a big deck, covered deck that comes out and overlooks 270 degrees all the way around 3 sides of this ridge. That's the goal. Right now, all the deer come here. We have deer cam right on that tree up there, pointing this way and pointing the other way, and we just have tons of deer that live right here where we stand. Can't really see much because of all the green.
Come out a little bit.
I can try and come high, but that is way down here. Our elevation difference might be 100 feet from here straight down to the. There's another creek down there, and then another ridge goes back up before you hit a road. That's the boundary of our property. And then this is a little bit more shallow of a drop down. So right here, we would come out of our house, and off in the distance is another ridge.
This is where we're thinking about putting the fire pit, though.
Oh, right, coming off the back deck.
Coming off the back.
The big bonfire pit. Yep. And then a walking trail down the ridge to the next hill where Sarah wants to put a chapel. And we want to have walking paths down there along the creek, walking paths down there along that creek.
Off to the left is the more shallow, kind of naturally cleared area, probably the flattest, clearest part of the property.
Yep.
Without any work on our part.
Yeah, this is really nice. It's nice to walk through here, ride the 4-wheeler through here. All of this area, we want to clear 50% of the trees. Just keep all the really big hardwoods. And then smooth out the ground and plant grass. Clean it all up. This is where we want to build the chapel. With a lot of windows. Looking all the way around the property, because there's a whole lot more beyond this hill. We have one of the best parts of the creek down that way, where there's a big peninsula that turns back around on itself. And even further down the creek, both of these creeks on either side of this hill come together in a bamboo forest. This is where we want to put the chapel, right here.
There's my little altar where I pray over the property.
This is going to be a really nice view, straight down when everything's cleared, all the way around. Can't really tell on this camera much probably, but we're looking downward at everything. Shall we walk back towards the creek? Or
Down
what?
there?
Up to you.
Do you want me to just take it and hike down and hike back up?
I'll follow you.
Okay. See if we can find a good path down.
I don't know how much we're going to see down here at this time of the year with everything green.
Yeah. Might not too much.
Yeah, this creek down here does need to be cleaned up.
But it's beautiful. Beautiful creek. Deep creek. Like maybe
Actually, our biggest creek is on the other side. That'll be in another video. We have a very deep creek on the other side of the property that we didn't go to.
this one's probably 5 or 6 feet deep in most places.
Well, and in some places it's like 20 feet. Not 20 feet of water, but 20 feet down.
Figure out the best way to get to it.
Yeah, it's really hard to see it all now, Sarah. It only took a couple weeks and it's all green.
I know it. Wow.
I think we might need to save that for another video. Yeah, I'm in flip-flops.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, we'll walk this way and walk back up.
Yeah, I'm such a noob. Why am I in flip-flops? Plus I just took a shower.
Here, I'll take it and run right through there real quick. I'm not too far from the creek right now. So I can go fairly quickly down here, I think, before the briars get to be too bad. Sometimes the briars are pretty bad. But here's a clear little section.
That's about where you dropped your phone a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was my noob move. I got on the back of the four-wheeler with Rob and put my phone in the back of my back pocket. Realized somewhere along the way that my phone was no longer in my back pocket. But we found it. Prayed. God took us right to it. So here we go. Here's.
I've lost probably 6 or 7 things that way.
All right.
All off the four-wheeler.
Here's one of the creeks.
32 acres.
I mean,
driving
yeah.
around on a four-wheeler, and I found everything I've lost.
So you can kind of see in some parts like how I thought maybe I saw a snake, but no. Anyway, so
How about all this stuff
There we
back up
go.
this ridge? We could put
Yeah.
a bunch of cabins on this.
yeah, so
There's room for probably 3 or 4 of them.
on the other side we've got a bunch of land over there too, with some nice level spots. So there you go. That's part of the creek. That's part of one of the creeks, I should say.
I'll try and follow it. Walking through thorns, snakes, and frogs, and flip-flops. What's cool about this property is there's so many different kinds of vegetation depending on what level we're at. When we're down here by the creek, there's tons of ferns and a bunch of these really crazy looking colorful flowers.
Yeah, get the camera right there where you can see the creek a little bit.
Yep. A lot of stuff like this tree. Look at that. A lot of work to come out here and clear stuff, clean it up. This tree is massive. Get over this. Might be hard to see on camera, but this is where when we play this up, this creek basically turns back on itself, comes through here. Gotta get all this stuff out of there. I don't even think that has been in there for very long, has it?
I don't know.
The water changes the way this creek looks. Every time I come out here, it looks a little bit different. All right, shall we walk around, go back to the road? Okay. Follow Sarah. This video might be getting boring by now.
Mikey, that's what the fast forward button is for.
Yeah, we could edit it. We're at 45 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Sarah, let's head over to the creek. The culvert, the big culvert.
Oh, that's okay. Let's go up that way.
I'm waiting for you. I'm following you.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go to a different part of the creek.
Almost back where we started, where we cleared this really nasty stuff for the creek crossing.
Well, this is where we started. Let's just walk back through the path this way. So instead of going back up the road, we're going to walk the lower portion of the path that is
The road going to the big house.
the road that would go to the big house that's on the lower side of the ridge. And to the right of the ridge.
So we'll have to come through here and knock down a bunch of trees and do with this path right here what we did with all the stuff in 2020.
Yep.
Just clear all of this, grade it, and rock it.
But for some reason, I'm not sure why, but there's not a lot of green along the ground here.
Yeah, this is a lot
And,
easier to walk.
So it's easier to walk through here.
I didn't have to clear any of this with the tractor.
Just
It's just like this.
Yep. And then all of a sudden we hit the green stuff. It's coming up.
Yep, it's not too bad though. Not a lot of thorns like on the other side. So what have we seen on the cameras?
We have seen deer, lots of deer, a lot of coyotes, and we've seen raccoons, a wild turkey, rabbits. We saw a beautiful bluebird in flight
Right in front of the
right
camera.
in front of the camera.
All of its feathers spread right out.
Yep. What else have we seen?
Fox?
A fox, yeah. Oh, we've seen a bobcat.
Bobcat, yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing.
That's about it. Squirrels. That doesn't really count.
Yeah. We have out here a hawk that lives out here
Yeah.
that we've seen quite a bit of. I actually saw it pick up a snake in its mouth and fly off at one point. And we also have seen, early on, we saw an owl.
Oh
That
yeah.
was right when we first started working on the barn. So, not sure if the owl still hangs out, but I would imagine it probably does.
So that's the path that goes back up to
The house.
the back of the house, and this is where the path branches off back to the other side that we came in on. And this is the shooting range area.
Yeah. So,
So now we're headed back to the camper area.
yeah. So that's probably enough for now. And we can do another video later.
In about 2 years.
Right. I'll show you another little part of the property and a little bit that's on the other side of the camper that has a beautiful creek. And I'm hoping to put a little bench there for quiet times and just really pretty. But that'll be for another time.
Bye.
Enough boredom for now.